Live at Buffalo Wild Wings, Samantha, tonight's show will be fun. We know who will play who in the 44th District Tournament. You and I were there today, so we'll discuss that on the show tonight. Plus, we'll be joined by a gymnast from Madison Central, as Laney McGovern will be on the show with us, and the Madison Central wrestling team. All kinds of fun stuff going on tonight, live at Buffalo Wild Wings. This is the Jack Burford Chevrolet Sports Show.
Sports fans, the wait is over. For the next hour, sit back and enjoy the ride on the Jack Burford Chevrolet Sports Show. Share your thoughts and opinions on the live feed on WBON TV, and stay tuned for everything you need to know about your local sports teams, college and pro sports as well. The Jack Burford Chevrolet Sports Show is served up by Buffalo Wild Wings and brought to you in part by the law office of Patrick O'Neill. Now, here are your hosts, Michael Watkins and Samantha Burford.
Samantha Burford, Michael Watkins here with you on the Jack Burford Chevrolet Sports Show, live at Buffalo Wild Wings tonight. And Samantha, first and foremost, we are brought to you by all these great sponsors at Jack Burford Chevrolet. It is a great time for a new Chevrolet. Take your tax return over to Jack Burford Chevrolet. Get one of those new Chevys, the new Blazer, the new Silverado, all kinds of nice, beautiful, amazing vehicles at Jack Burford Chevrolet. And you can check out the entire inventory at jackburford.com. And I keep asking or waiting on you to just say, Michael, why don't you take the Blazer home with you tonight? But
and I say no.
Yeah.
Because I have to, well, I mean, you have a Chevy, but yours says Princess on board, so I think it's more fitting
Maybe
for
I want to
you.
be a princess. Is there something wrong with that?
No.
Well, the story behind that's my wife's car, or used to be my wife's car. Now I've got it.
But I think it's just so funny.
Well, I do have a princess on board when she rides with me. I've got a 3-year-old princess at home.
You do, and she is the boss, and should be.
Well, listen, so we know today was such a big day here locally because we found out.
It was a lot of fun.
A lot of opinions being shared on our Facebook video that we did before.
Some not so nice.
Well, and I understand it. I understand the complaint or the aggravation with it, but I see both sides, and we'll get into that in a few moments. But first of all, let's break down what the draw was today. At earlier today at 1 o'clock, we had the district draw, and it was kind of cool being there. See how all the athletic directors, Cooksey from Central,
40 minutes.
Mr. Johnson from Model, Mr. Jay Simmons from Southern, and Mr. From Berea. I talk to him all the time. I can't think of his name on the spot. No, that's the basketball coach. Yeah, we're trying. I will figure it out though. We know that the athletic director from.
You. I've not met him, so I don't know his name.
I got an email from him earlier today. Jerry Bingham. Jerry Bingham is the athletic director.
Sorry,
at
Mr.
Berea.
Bingham.
So
why didn't you introduce me to him today?
Well, he was on the other end of you, and you didn't get a chance to talk to him. But I got a chance to kind of conversate with all the athletic directors, and it was cool kind of seeing them go through the process of
40 minutes of rules.
Exactly, yeah, and making sure all the budgets were right, and
and
the passes and everything. It was really cool to see all the different details they had to go through.
A lot of details.
What gate is everybody coming through?
Right. And cheerleaders go through a different gate.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean it was very interesting to be
different
there.
Different gate. You and I, a different gate.
Yeah.
And 40 minutes of those rules, and I just kept sitting there thinking, some of this is not fun as far as the rules.
Business.
It's a lot of business, but the fun that they take away from the students, because, none of those thunder sticks.
Yeah, none of the thunder sticks, no banners, no flags.
No
and they don't want to impede the viewing experience of the fans that are there.
Right.
And they don't want to really affect. Yeah, exactly. So.
But I was thinking, that's no fun.
Yeah. Well,
I like a thunder stick.
I understand it, though. Well, why don't you bring some to the sports show? Yeah, that would be interesting to kick you out.
That would. It would be I'd be like, okay, I'm done with the thunder stick.
But
I'm sure, the megaphones, all the cowbells, all of those are very annoying.
Yeah.
It's fun for the students and the fan experience, but for the athletes, not so much. So.
Well, we know the draw. It was announced earlier today. We have a Facebook video up if you want to go through and see how they did it. So they've got a bottle with 1 through 4.
Took a video. It was pretty cool.
With 1 through 4 in the bottle. Yes. You draw it out. 1 and 2 play each other, 3 and 4. So the way it worked out today was Central drew first because they are the host school. They drew number 1. Southern drew 2. Berea and Model drew 3 and 4. So that is your matchup. It'll break down like this.
Model was 3.
On Monday, February the 24th at EKU, Madison Southern will play Madison Central girls in the first game. The nightcap will be Madison Central, Madison Southern boys, in the nightcap. So that is your first round matchup.
We learned that they're not allowed out on the court until 20 minutes.
Exactly.
It's everything is down precisely in rules.
On Tuesday, Berea girls will play Model girls first, followed by the Model Berea boys in the nightcap. And then both championship games will be on Friday, February the 28th, with the girls at 6 p.m. and the boys at 7:45. It was really cool to see the draw and be there. But, Samantha, this is what I learned today. So, first of all, by being there and seeing the draw, all these guys have a lot on their plate. You know, all these athletic directors, they've got to balance. The issue of the draw or the seed was brought up. And we have seen today over on our Facebook page some of the comments.
People commenting.
And, again, I understand the issue with it. If you're watching us live here, feel free to share your opinion on the draw, if you like it, if you're a fan of it. And, you know,
the majority of the opinions, people want it seeded.
Yes. And I understand that, too, because, listen, you know, whenever you are a Madison Central and a Madison Southern, the majority of the time you are going to be a top 1 or 2 seed.
But
when
not
you are
this
a
year.
Berea or Model,
right,
you are going to be maybe the 3 or 4 seed.
Right.
You're a smaller school. Again, Central and Southern are a 6A and a 5A school. Berea and Model are the 1A schools.
Right.
So the advantage is going to go to the bigger schools as far as being the better team. Now this year,
right.
and we've been talking about it for a long time. We
Every
feel
show we
like
talk
that
about
this
it.
district tournament is going to be so much
Wide
fun, no
open.
matter who played who, because
Yeah.
it's so competitive this year.
Yeah.
But I guarantee you this now. Especially the first round. This first round may be the best first round in the history
Between Central and
of the
Southern.
44th District Tournament. Everybody, because the Central Southern girls game earlier this year came all the way down to the wire.
Close.
Central Southern boys, they didn't play
Haven't
this year.
played.
But if you look at the like scores, you know, the Great Crossing game, both teams beat Great Crossing by 5 or 6 points. If you look at the Trinity, both teams lost to Trinity by, 5 or 6 points.
Close.
So
right.
if you look at it that
And
way.
in overtime. Southern's was overtime,
Exactly.
right?
So if you look at it that way, you would think that Central Southern is going to be a very
good
fun
game.
basketball game. And I think it will be. Now, I know that if you're Madison Southern, you may not like the draw. You want to play Central if you do have to play them in the championship game.
Right.
But listen, I mean, that game, you've got Cole Brown and Braden Ray versus Chad Fugit and Hunter Buchanan and Nate Turner. I mean, this first round game, I am excited because I believe that whoever wins, I believe both those two teams, if they're playing their best basketball, can make a run in the 11th region tournament. I've got faith in Austin Newton. I've got faith in Allen Feldhouse.
Yes.
That first round game, I know they want to play it in the championship, but you're probably going to have to, if you want to win the district championship, you're going to have to beat each other
Berea
either
and
way.
Model.
Yeah, but you're going to have to beat each other either way. So play them in the first round. Let's get that game under our belt, and then focus on the district championship game.
But think about, we just did our first Model game a couple of Friday nights ago at Model. That game between Model and Berea was the most exciting, one of the most exciting games we've had. Well, we've had quite a few exciting games, especially last Friday. But
being at Model, the atmosphere where you're so compact in there, it seemed like it kind of made the atmosphere better. But both games were really good, and again, that goes back to my point.
Right.
The first round games in this tournament are going to be so much fun because they're going to be so competitive.
Yes.
Boys, girls, Central, Southern, both games should be a lot of fun. On Tuesday, the same thing.
And it could be anybody.
Yes,
it could be
and I think that's what makes
game.
it so exciting.
Yeah, if it was like the World Series, we could probably predict who might come out on top. But you know what? They got one shot. It's going to be a close one, I think, Monday and Tuesday. And then it very well could be a close game on Friday.
Yeah, well, so we on the video we posted up earlier today, whenever you and I were there for the district draw, we've had a lot of people comment. So John Pick says they always do a blind draw. It takes a majority votes between the two schools, or between the 4 schools, to have it seeded or drawn. So you always get 2 votes to draw and 2 votes to seed. So I don't understand why, if it's a tie, then why is it always a draw and not some kind of rotation? I could understand that. Maybe one year do a draw, maybe the next year do a rotation.
Central and Southern would have had to have played today earlier in the season.
Yes. So John Pig also said it's something that has to be voted on by the athletic directors of the 4 schools in our district. And it was brought up today.
It was.
Both Model and Berea, so let's just pass over it. We still, in the way Coach Cooksey presented it was, are you all still against it? If so, we'll just pass over it. We won't even bring it up. That was said. They passed right over it, so they didn't even talk about it today.
They were all fine with the way that the draw was today.
Now, I will say this. So Jay Simmons brought up the idea of, Okay, if you all don't want to seed, can we at least still guarantee at least one game with the other schools? I like that idea because you're bringing up the fact that Central and Southern will have to play, Central and Model will have to play, Central and Berea will have to play. All 4 schools will have to play each other at least one time. That was a proposed idea.
I like that idea.
I like that idea as well. And I also heard a proposal of maybe a preseason panorama kind of thing where all 4 schools, all 8 teams, boys and girls, play a particular opponent, maybe not each other, but they'll play a different team at Berea College to kind of get Berea College involved
early
in this
the
as
season,
well. Yes, before the season even starts, maybe. So
yeah, preseason.
I like all these ideas that passed around.
Yeah.
I would love to get involved with that somehow. Maybe have us, maybe sponsor it, whatever the case may be. But I think that is an absolute great idea to, even if you all don't want to seed, let's play each other. And that way you can still at least kind of gauge where you're at as far as the district and regions go.
Yeah, and the athletic directors, even after the meeting, were talking to one another, trying to communicate and, okay, let's take these back to our coaches, these ideas, and then we'll meet back up and talk about, okay, do you want to play in August? Not August, that's football, but, early in the season. Or do you want to play, right after Christmas or right after Thanksgiving or, that kind of thing.
Well, Chris Stamper, watching us live on Facebook, says it reminds him of Friday Night Lights every time they hear about a draw because in the episode or in the scene of Friday Night Lights where you've got the 3 teams, they flip the coin basically to see who plays who or who's the team left out of the game in that show or that movie. So, again, I understand the complaints. I understand the criticism. But what it has set up for us this year, Samantha, is the fact that we are going to have a very, very fun district tournament. And all these coaches, they're going to have to get ready for each game. But, again, the first round, Central Southern, I can't wait. Berea Model, I can't wait. I am excited to be there.
I am too.
And call these games because, listen, all these teams are good. They all can win the district. If Model can get Perry and the Stam kid to hit some 3-pointers, they can knock off anybody. Yeah. The same goes for Berea. You got Dorsey and Smith. If they're playing well, they could beat anybody. Mm-hmm. Southern and Central, they've already shown that they can beat other teams in the 11th region. So I feel like the tournament itself is going to be so much fun because all these coaches have got their teams playing well. And, when I spoke to Austin Newton last week, I was over there doing the Shonda Ebert story, which is up on our Facebook page.
Yeah, definitely go watch that story.
Yeah. We'll talk about her later on, but she is for what she is doing and what she has done with she's an incredible lady. So we want to get back to her later on as well. But when I talked to Coach Newton, he said, Mike, I've got confidence in my team. If we're hitting threes, if we're playing well, I believe we can knock off anybody in the 11th region. And I believe that to be the case. I understand the argument about playing Central Southern in the district championship game. The fans might be better. You're going to make more money in the gate. But from what we've seen with Berea and Model fans, listen, those fans will travel as well, especially Berea fans. They have been – anytime I've done a Berea game this year, whether it be the game at Model or the regional championship game in the All-A Classic, the fans there were great. I understand the argument of wanting your 2 best teams, your 2 biggest schools in the 11th region championship game.
On Friday night, right.
What it does guarantee this year is, we got a comment. So Noel Jewett commenting on our Facebook feed says, what is not being brought up is the district winner and runner-up go to the region tournament, and that's important. That is a big deal. You just said either Central and Southern could make a run in the region tournament, but with this format, only one team has that opportunity this year. So that is exactly right, Samantha. We talked
about that off camera a minute ago.
You do lose a chance, if Central is the best team in the district, Southern knocks them off because they're playing well that night, then you lose a team that could possibly make an 11th region tournament run. The same for Southern. If they were to lose in the first round, we've got confidence in them to make an 11th region tournament run. So I see the issue of it, and I understand it. Listen, I played at Jackson City, a single-A school, when we were in our district. We had Jackson City and Riverside. We were basically the Model and the Berea of our district. We had Wolfe County and Breathitt County were the 2 bigger schools. They were the 2 teams that did want to seed. They were the Central and Southern, not as big, but they were, as far as our district went, they were the 2 bigger schools. So they always wanted to seed. Our schools always wanted to draw because if you're us and you draw Riverside, you're almost guaranteed a spot in the regional tournament. And the same thing can be said in recent years with Model and Berea, they've had years where they've only won a few games. They've kind of been a team that you can look past, but that's not the case this year.
Right.
I mean, we've seen it when Southern played both Berea and Model. Both games were a lot of fun.
Right.
They came down to the wire. I mean, Southern beat Model, I think, by 13. I think they beat Berea by 13 as well. But that Berea game, there was like 50-something fouls called, and late in the game it kind of got stretched out, but it was a very close game. I think, again, when you look at the way the district is this year, I understand the draw and I understand the seeding thing, but I just think that the way it worked out this year will guarantee that every game is a good game. Now,
exciting.
The boys district championship game will be interesting. Let's say it is Berea or Madison against Madison Central, or a Berea versus a Madison Southern. We've seen those games be close already this year with Berea and Southern. I don't know. I just think that every game is going to be very competitive. The way it's shaped out with the draw that happened earlier today, I think it is going to make every single game in this tournament, boys and girls, very competitive.
I'd like to know your opinion on, do you feel like Southern Central typically play a more difficult schedule? So do you think that will come into play when it comes down to this district games?
I think you're more prepared. You know more about your team because, and again, with a Berea and Model, you're not going to be able to compete with the Louisville Trinity or,
but I do feel like they have picked up their schedule.
They have,
but they're not playing Trinity.
They're not playing Trinity.
Right.
But again, you don't want a single A school playing a 6A school.
Right.
The competition level is not there. We saw it in football a lot this year. When you had a smaller school playing a bigger school, it's just the competition, or the way.
Not really fair.
Exactly. So I understand that too. Maybe what we should be complaining about more than the district draw is how about we have classes in basketball like we do football. Maybe that's a bigger complaint than anything else. Is maybe we should have single A basketball, Class 2A basketball state tournament, a Class 3A state tournament. Maybe that would please everybody more than just having a seeded district draw here or whatever the case may be.
You know the answer to that is you're never going to please everyone.
Exactly. I do understand that.
Yeah. You're never
now,
what
what make you happy? I mean, listen, we don't have a dog in the fight. We don't have a player that plays for any team.
No.
We want to see competitive games. We want to see all the schools succeed, and we know that whenever it comes down to playing each other, you can't get that. But I just think the way it is shaped out this year, that each game is going to be supremely competitive, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
I totally agree with you. Typically, I am the one that's like, Central and Southern's playing in that first game. You don't typically want that because both of those teams typically need to go to the regional tournament. This year, like we've said, only one of them is going to get to go, but Model and Berea have stepped up their games this year. They're both having great seasons, and I'm looking forward to this matchup on Friday.
And I'll put it this way, too. I love Jalen Dorsey. He's a great player. I like Jaden Smith. I like Cruz Pingleton and Bryson Perry over at Model. I would like to see what those kids can do in the 11th region tournament on a big stage.
Model has the height.
Berea's got the height.
Berea's got the height.
Yes.
Wait.
Model's got the guards.
That's right.
There you go.
Thank you.
Yeah. So
sorry about that.
It's going to be a lot of fun. We'll find out what will happen in a couple of weeks. So, real quick, let's take a look at our Facebook post, which is brought to you by the Law Office of Patrick O'Neill. We can have Austin pull that up for us. The Law Office of Patrick O'Neill will take care of you for legal advice on workers' compensation, SSI, Social Security benefits, and more. Call 606-666-2990 for a free consultation. Our question today was, do you think the 44th boys or the 44th girls district tournament will be more competitive this year? And that was before we knew what the draw was.
Right.
But 70% say the boys tournament, 30% say the girls tournament. So everybody thinks that the boys tournament will be more competitive than the girls tournament. Listen, we've seen a lot of girls games this year between the schools. Those were a lot of fun, too. Berea Model, the Berea Southern game, the Central Southern game, all of those came down to the wire.
Yes.
So
I've been preaching it all season. Typically, boys' games, more people attend.
Yeah.
It's usually more fascinating for a fan viewership. But the girls this season have been spectacular.
They have. Our Facebook poll again is brought to you by the Law Office of Patrick O'Neill for legal advice on workers' compensation, SSI, Social Security benefits, and more. Call 606-666-2990 for a free consultation. Samantha, it is a lot of fun. We're going to find out again. The games will take place on Monday We'll have
February the 24th.
Central Southern girls, followed by the boys. Then on Tuesday, Model versus Berea girls and boys. And then the championship games on Friday of that week.
You want to take a guess who makes it to Friday?
I honestly don't know. You don't know this year. I mean, and that's why I like this draw, because I think that every game's going to be competitive this year. I like the draw this year because we've seen the games be so competitive and so close. That's why I like the district draw. We will take a commercial break, and when we come back, we will be joined by Elena McGovern, the gymnast at Madison Central.
She will
join us on the show. We are live here at Buffalo Wild Wings. You get on over here and hang out with us, guys. If you like local sports, we are here 3 times a month. We're at Jack Burford Chevrolet once a month. That's where we'll be next Monday. So if we are out and about, you want to come on and discuss a sports topic with us, feel free to do so.
You can come sit at this table right here.
Well, what's wrong with putting them by us?
Okay, we can put them by us.
You forgot to put deodorant on today, didn't you? I knew it. I thought I smelled something when you come in the door. That's what it was.
Usually these seats are reserved for the coaches or the
if we don't have a guest on, we can bring somebody on. You know, we'll be glad to talk to them, whatever the case may be. But we do have guests on today. So we will have Elena come on first. Then in our last segment, we will be joined by the Madison Central wrestling team, folks. Do not go anywhere. We are live at Buffalo Wild Wings.
They're going to teach me how to put a hold on you.
I like that.
A wrestling move.
This is the Jack Burford Chevrolet Sports Show.
Patrick O'Neill has been serving Central and Eastern Kentucky since 1995. When someone is accused of something they didn't do, or when a good person makes a mistake, they need the best representation they can find. And that's Patrick O'Neill. Whether it's criminal defense, Social Security, disability, personal injury, workers' compensation, or deeds and wills, when you need legal advice, trust the expertise of Patrick O'Neill. He will get you the money you deserve. His office is located in Jackson, but Patrick practices all over Central and Eastern Kentucky. For more information or for a free consultation, call 606-666-2990.
Is everybody buckled in? I want to make sure you're buckled in. You're more important. Oh, guys, you're important too. Remember, everyone's important, so buckle up to and from the ball game. Come on, let's go.
So you guys have shown us a lot of love on Facebook and, of course, our website at WBONTV.com. So we're going to let you in on a little secret, our YouTube channel. It's where all the local stories are posted first for news, and you can even catch the live stream of any of your local high school sports on there as well. Be sure to subscribe, as well as click on the little bell for notifications. For when we post a video go live, you'll be the first to know. And don't be afraid to share and like a video. It really helps us out here at the studio to bring you the best in local news. And of course on Facebook, hit the See First button so we come up first when you're scrolling through your timeline.
Watch the Jack Burford Chevrolet Sports Show live each Monday from 6 to 7 on WBONTV.com.
That's right, Michael. You can hang out with us each week either at Jack Burford Chevrolet or at Buffalo Wild Wings in the Richmond Center. You can take part in the law office of Patrick O'Neill Facebook poll and share your thoughts and opinions with us each week, and we can talk about all your local sports.
Samantha, the numbers don't lie. We love showcasing the local athletes and coaches in our community and appreciate all of our great sponsors. For the best local sports coverage around, join us each Monday on WBON TV for the Jack Burford Chevrolet Sports Show. Back on the Jack Burford Chevrolet Sports Show, Samantha Burford, Michael Watkins. And Samantha, we are joined by Elena McGovern, gymnast at Madison Central. Is that the right label for you? What would you describe yourself as?
I would say probably exactly what you
Gymnast,
said.
okay.
Yes.
You knocked that out of the park then.
Well, listen, I've been practicing. All day long, Samantha. But, well, Elena, thank you for coming on with us. You've got your Boise State shirt on.
I know.
So
is there a reason for that?
Yes. I'm actually committed to go to Boise State on a full athletic scholarship for gymnastics.
Congratulations,
that deserves
by the way.
a clap.
Thank you.
That's fantastic.
Thank you. So I'm a junior, so I'll be going in 2021. And yeah.
So people that know of Boise State know about their blue football field. That's kind of what they're known for. Is gymnastics, is that a big deal there? Are they known for gymnastics as well?
Yes, their gymnastics program is doing really well. Last year they were ranked in the top 20.
Okay.
And this year they're also doing really well. So I'm really excited to go and be a part of that program, and they're definitely on the rise. So.
Oh, that's good. And they're going to do even better when you get there, right?
I hope so.
Well, the majority of us know about gymnastics through the Olympics,
Yes.
or maybe going to Excite Night over at UK to watch gymnastics over there. So for the modern, I guess, mom and dad that's like knowing to putting our kids in gymnastics or maybe at Excel here in town, what do we need to know? Do you compete in beam and floor and like normal?
Yes, I do it all. So we do vault, bars, beam, and floor. But there are some people who don't do everything, and that's what's called an event specialist.
Okay.
But I do everything. I do all around. So yeah, I do the vault, bars, beam, and floor.
So you do all of that, and then they combine your score.
Yes.
And then, so you could win those individual events and then win the overall.
Yes, right.
That's pretty impressive. Like, do you have to spend a certain amount of time practicing all four, or do you go in one day and say, okay, I'm going to work on the beam or on the floor? Do you do those each day, or do you work on them all every single day? How does that work?
Okay, well, my gym, we do every event every day. So we'll warm up for about 30 minutes, and then we have 5 rotations, and it's vault, bars, beam, floor, and then we add in conditioning.
Okay.
And each of those are 45 minutes, so we get 45 minutes to spend just on each event, and really, I think that's a good amount of time to really, work on it and get better every day. And then at the end, we'll have about 15 minutes for just stretching and kind of cool down.
Well,
like normal. I mean, like normal.
Yeah, well, I
It's
mean,
what
all
a football
athletes have
player
that.
would
Yeah,
do.
exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I've seen some of the pictures. I know Austin's got some of the pictures that we've got of you that your mom has sent us, and you have to be very nimble and
Flexible.
talk about the stretching
Strong.
that you have to do. You have to do a lot of stretching to be able to kind of move your limbs the way you do to be
Like
able to
to
do
flip
what
on a
you
balance
do. Yeah.
beam.
Okay, so I feel like this is actually kind of a misconception because I am a gymnast and I am not flexible at all.
Okay.
So there are some
strength.
gymnasts that are really, really flexible, but that is not me. I'm more of a power girl. So I think you kind of have to have a little bit of a balance, but flexibility definitely isn't the most important part of it, and you can still be successful without being
Who'd have thought?
extremely
Yeah.
flexible.
Well, luckily, maybe I could do it because I'm not flexible at all. Maybe I've got a chance to do this. I don't know.
I would like to see you even trying a cartwheel on the balance beam.
Oh, I could do on the balance beam. No, I can
They
do a
have
cartwheel.
some on the floor, so you could start out with the
Maybe
ones
that's
on
where
the
I need to
floor.
start out at. Yeah, I won't get hurt as bad if I
You
fall
won't
off.
get hurt.
Well, let me just give you some notes on Lena Ford. So she got her first offer when she was a freshman in high school, but her number one choice all along was that from the time she was 12 years old was Boise State. So what drew you or made you want to go to Boise State, and kind of talk about the process of making that dream become a reality?
Okay, so why I liked Boise State from the very, very beginning was their academics, specifically on the gymnastics team, are so good. They pretty much every year, they maintain the top GPA out of all the gymnastics programs.
Okay.
And to me, that just really shows that although they are very good at gymnastics, they also balance academics well. So that's really important for me because my school is very important, and ultimately that's the reason why I'm going to college, is to get an education. So that was really important to me.
So tell us about Madison Central and their gymnastics team. How many people are on this team?
So Madison Central actually does not have a gymnastics team.
That's
you
what
go.
I thought. I was sitting here going, I've never heard of that.
Yeah, and honestly, I'm not sure if any schools in Kentucky do, but I know that high school gymnastics is more popular not in Kentucky. But for me, I just do what's called club gymnastics.
Okay.
So I go to Legacy Gymnastics, which is in Lexington, and that's where I do all of my training and competitions and things like that.
To me, I think it makes it even more impressive that she was able to do this,
Yes.
not even having her school have a gymnastics team.
Right.
That's pretty impressive.
What age did you start tumbling and loving
Okay.
this sport?
So I started taking private classes when I was 2, and then I took a break, and I decided that I just loved it so much that I had to go back. So I went back when I was 6 years old, and I've been doing it ever since.
Well, that's interesting because my daughter, who's 2, about to turn 3, she just started gymnastics 3 weeks ago.
Oh.
And she likes to flip at home anyway. So,
Yeah.
my
She be a little monkey.
wife's best friend, she's been doing gymnastics herself, so she kind of helped get Reagan involved. And
Right.
she's enjoyed it. I've seen videos and stuff. I've not been able to go yet because
this may be in your
I know that would be
future.
awesome. I may be looking to
That's
you in the
pretty cool.
future to come back to Richmond and maybe help my daughter out.
Yes,
That would
I
be.
would love that.
So talk about your future plans. Obviously, do you have a goal of, you're going to be at Boise State, you want to succeed there? Would you like to compete in the Olympics? Do you have dreams of coming back to Richmond and maybe trying to start your own gymnastics? Talk about that.
Okay, well, I definitely do not want to compete in the Olympics because that is pretty much a whole different path. That's what's called elite, and elite is a lot more intense than just JO, which is what I'm in, and that's like the Junior Olympic program.
Okay.
So elites, you pretty much have to train multiple times a day, and with that comes most likely you're going to have to homeschool, and that was not something I wanted to do because you know, I really enjoy school and I like being with all my friends, so that was never really where I wanted to go.
Because you'd have to move.
Yes, right.
You'd have to move out to the Olympic training facility where they all train.
Well, if you're not having a school team, does that make it harder on you maybe to, as far as
driving to Lexington
you're having to do all this and you still go to school, does that make it a little bit harder on you?
I do think that sometimes it's a little bit harder just because, you know, whenever people say, you know, I have to miss school for a football game or something, I think teachers are sometimes a little more understanding. But I've been able to balance it pretty well, I think, and I really like being able to balance it, and I think that that's one thing that I have become really good at. So
that's good. Right now is gymnastics season, right? It's your competition.
Yeah, you had a competition last week, I think. It's why you couldn't be on the show last Monday with us.
Yes. So our competition season is from like December or January to, depending on if you qualify for things like state and regionals and nationals, it can be all the way up until May.
Wow, that's a long season.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is a long. All right, 2 questions.
Okay.
What is your favorite? Like, is it beam? Is it, what's your favorite event?
I like floor a lot.
Oh, so you like to tumble.
Yes, I do.
And then, who's your favorite Olympian gymnast?
Oh, gosh.
Simone?
I don't know.
Nadia?
I really do.
Actually, she's so young, she may not know Nadia.
You're showing your age.
Okay, I know
Yes.
it. I know it.
Honestly, I would probably just say Simone because she is, like, better than anyone that's ever been before her, and she's probably the best that there's going to be for a long time.
Okay.
And it's just amazing to be able to watch her do what she's doing.
Well, this is what I know about Elena. Again, her talked to her mom about all this. So she had been talking to the Boise coaches for a couple of years. Then they came to nationals last year to watch her compete and invited her for an unofficial visit. The day that NCAA coaches were allowed to contact her directly this summer, she was contacted by 12 colleges all in one day, including Temple, Rutgers, University of Penn, Cornell, Michigan State, Ball State, and West Virginia. In the meantime, she was already scheduled to go on another unofficial visit to William & Mary, and the University of Michigan was scheduled to come to Lexington to watch her work out. The week of the Michigan visit is when Boise State made her the offer. So,
no SEC school.
Yeah.
You're like, on the SEC.
Well, the SEC schools, honestly, they're just so good. Pretty much all of them are in the top 10. And for me, like, realistically, I knew that if I did go to an SEC school, I probably wouldn't get to be able to compete as much as I wanted. Because in college gymnastics, there's only 6 spots for each event. So you
want to be able to give something to your team.
Yes, right. I want to
totally
be able to contribute
and,
you know, do the best I can do for my school, and I want to obviously get out there and be doing gymnastics.
Well, so let's talk about the way that this all happened. Was another school even thought about, or did you just focus on Boise? That's where I want to go. That's where I'm going to go.
Okay, well, I started this process like pretty much all the way back in 7th grade, and I was emailing close to 50 schools just to get my name out there and really like try and explore all of my options because I didn't want to leave any school like.
No stone unturned.
Yeah, right.
Let's hit them all
I want to
up.
give everybody a chance before you said yes or no to one certain school. Okay.
But
that's smart.
From the very, very beginning, Boise was really one of my top choices always. And I did, I had a lot of schools that I considered, but always in the back of my mind, I was like, Boise State is where I want to go.
Wow.
What about
she got the shirt on. She's ready for it. Now, I've seen pictures of you at Boise State. Talk about their campus. Is it pretty unique?
Yes, their campus is so beautiful. And actually, whenever I went there for the first time this past summer when I was attending their camp.
Okay.
And when I found out that I was going to the Idaho, I wasn't really sure what to expect because I haven't been out west very much. So I really had no idea. And then when we got there, it was so pretty.
Were there a lot of potatoes?
No.
Okay, well, that's what I wanted to
Any
know.
potatoes.
That's what I was known for, right? To bake the potatoes?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay.
So, are family coming with you, or because they're going to want to go to your meets?
Yeah, so my family is so supportive. I have 3 sets of grandparents, and I'm the only grandchild.
Oh, wow.
So I'm very spoiled, and my grandparents have talked a lot about possibly coming out there and definitely watching me a lot. And I know my parents are going to come up pretty much every weekend to watch me compete. So I'm really excited to have them all come support me.
Oh, yeah. Now, where will you come? Like, close into Kentucky at all for any meets?
Okay, so Boise State is in this weird conference, and it's called the Mountain Rim Gymnastics Conference.
Okay.
And it's specifically for gymnastics, and there's only 4 schools in it, and they're mostly out west. So they do go out of conference, but most of their meets are in the west. So hopefully I'll get to come over here, but I'm not really sure.
So no Ohio
Yeah.
or Tennessee?
Yeah.
No, you won't be close.
Well, Elena, before we let you go, when is your next meet that you're going to be having coming up soon? When is your next one?
My next meet is in 2 weeks,
Okay.
and it's in Toledo.
Wow, okay. Well, where can people go if they want maybe to keep up to date with you or the team that you're on? Is there a Facebook or a Twitter account they can follow to get more information about what you're doing and the team that you're on?
Yeah, so my gym, which is called Legacy Gymnastics, they have an Instagram and a Facebook, so
Okay.
you can see that. And also, if you wanted to see me and my team in person, in March, I'm not exactly sure the dates, but we're having our state competition at George Rogers Clark.
Oh, wow.
So
Okay, that's
close.
super close.
Yeah.
Well, listen, so what we'd like to do is maybe a couple of weeks before the state competition, have your mom get back in touch with us. We'll have you back on the show if you want to bring a teammate or a coach. If you want to bring them on, we'll help you promote the tournament that's coming up at GRC. We'll help you all get maybe some people to come over and watch you all and support you, and we'll try to
Some of your
promote that
classmates.
for you. Yeah.
Yes,
so
that'd be
keep us in
awesome.
mind. Have your mom reach back out to us whenever that gets closer, maybe a couple of weeks out. We'll have you back on the show and talk about that.
Okay.
We're going to have to
Thank
start
you so
following
much.
Boise State Gymnastics
I know.
on Twitter.
On Instagram, and the IG, Samantha. That's what it's called. What the young folks say. The IG.
The
There
IG.
you go. Yeah.
I know it. What
Well,
about it? She's smart. She's
listen.
intelligent. I mean, she's athletic.
I
She's
asked
got
her
it all.
before she came on. I said, "Are you nervous?" She said a little bit. She killed it. Absolutely
You
killed
did.
it. So thank
You
you,
did.
for coming
You
on.
rocked it out, girl.
Congratulations and good luck the rest of the year. And we'll look forward to talking to you in a
Thank
few
you.
weeks before the statewide tournament.
Thank you all so much.
Yeah,
That is
Thank
Elena
you.
McGovern, gymnast from Madison Central, not at Madison Central. She's from
No,
Madison
high
Central.
school
And you said it was
gymnastics teams.
Legacy Gymnastics
Yes.
team.
Legacy.
So that is the team that she is a gymnast on. And we'll have her back on maybe about a month or so and talk about the upcoming tournament that she will be in March. That's Elena McGovern. Thank you for coming on with us. We'll take one more commercial break. When we come back on, the Madison Central wrestling team had a pretty successful weekend, Samantha. We will talk to the coach and some of the wrestlers coming
I was
on
going
the
to say,
show.
you probably know them.
She might know them, some of her classmates maybe. Yeah.
That's
We'll come
right.
back. We are live at Buffalo Wild Wings. This is the Jack Burford Chevrolet Sports Show.
Patrick O'Neill has been serving Central and Eastern Kentucky since 1995. When someone is accused of something they didn't do, or when a good person makes a mistake, they need the best representation they can find. And that's Patrick O'Neill. Whether it's criminal defense, Social Security, disability, personal injury, workers' compensation, or deeds and wills, when you need legal advice, trust the expertise of Patrick O'Neill. He will get you the money you deserve. His office is located in Jackson, but Patrick practices all over Central and Eastern Kentucky. For more information or for a free consultation, call 606-666-2990.
Is everybody buckled in? I want to make sure you're buckled in. You're more important. Oh, guys, you're important too. Remember, everyone's important, so buckle up to and from the ball game. Come on, let's go.
So you guys have shown us a lot of love on Facebook and of course our website at WBONTV.com. So we're going to let you in on a little secret, our YouTube channel. It's where all the local stories are posted first for news, and you can even catch the live stream of any of your local high school sports on there as well. Be sure to subscribe, as well as clicking on the little bell for notifications. For when we post a video go live, you'll be the first to know. And don't be afraid to share and like a video. It really helps us out here at the studio to bring you the best in local news. And of course on Facebook, hit the See First button so we come up first when you're scrolling through your timeline.
Watch the Jack Burford Chevrolet Sports Show live each Monday from 6 to 7 on WBONTV.com.
That's right, Michael. You can hang out with us each week either at Jack Burford Chevrolet or at Buffalo Wild Wings in the Richmond Center. You can take part in the law office of Patrick O'Neill Facebook poll and share your thoughts and opinions with us each week, and we can talk about all your local sports.
Samantha, the numbers don't lie. We love showcasing the local athletes and coaches in our community and appreciate all of our great sponsors. For the best local sports coverage around, join us each Monday on WBON TV for the Jack Burford Chevrolet Sports Show. We are back at Buffalo Wild Wings on the Jack Burford Chevrolet Sports Show. Samantha Burford, Michael Watkins, and Samantha, the Madison Central wrestling team in the house with us.
They're going to teach me how to do moves so that I can,
Well, listen, I've been a huge wrestling fan all my life, and I was hoping that the Undertaker's theme song would come on and the lights would go down. But, Coach, this is not what you all do. So talk about your wrestling team and the success you guys have had this year.
Okay. We just finished the region tournament. We ended up finishing in second place with a close battle to Lafayette High School. They did a great job closing us out at the end. We've had a pretty good success this season. I think our duel record was 20-6. Went to the state duels, had some success. So a lot of positives. We battled some injuries throughout the season. We had high hopes coming into the season. And unfortunately, things kind of went the opposite way, but we're looking to finish strong. We have some great individuals who are seeking competing for state titles. We have about 4 who will compete for the state title. So we're really excited for them. We got 3 of them here tonight. So
do the ones that won champion this past weekend at region, do they automatically qualify for state? What do you have to do?
They do, yeah. The top 4 at the region. So there's 18 teams in the region, so the top 4 kids all qualify for the state tournament.
Okay.
And it turns into a 32-man bracketed tournament, and then they'll battle their way to try to win it at the end.
How many teams statewide are there? I mean, I know that not every high school has a wrestling team, so how many wrestling teams statewide do you have a total number on
I think it's around 120 teams.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah, it's close to 1 per county. It's pockets. It's more popular in pockets of the state. Northern Kentucky, Weston, Paducah is very popular. So, and then in Central Kentucky, it's very popular as well.
Well, talk about your since you took over. This is your 3rd year?
It's my first year as head coach. I've been with the program about 4 or 5 years in some capacity.
They've had a great team for 4 or 5 years, too. Weren't you region winners last year?
Yes,
and
runner-up the year before?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you've had a lot of success as a program. Do you think that kind of helps your team succeed or prepare for the tournaments?
I was actually, when I came to the program, I was very lucky. We had good support from the youth, middle, and high school levels.
Okay.
As well as great administrators who are involved in our team. So I came at a great time following Coach Watts doing a great job building it up, and Gene Wolf. They did a great job. So I came in with a well-established program. And, the past 5 years we've had really good success. I think we finished in the top 2 in the region for 5 years in a row.
Yeah.
Talk about your relationship with do you still have a relationship with Coach Watts as far as you and him go? Or
Yeah, it's good. Left on positive notes, and if he could come back in some capacity, love to have that. So he did a great job. Coached at Dunbar for a long time. Won a region title there. Just looking forward to continuing on the success there.
Well, talk about the guys we got with us here today. I know we've got 1 football player for sure, but talk about the guys that you've got here with us and them winning the region over the weekend.
Okay. I guess I'll start with our senior, Thomas Deck. He is undefeated the past 2 seasons.
Oh, wow.
2-time defending state champion. And had success he's a 2-time high school All-American as well. Virginia Beach, maybe more, I don't know. But tremendous athlete. I think he just got his appointment to West Point. Is that correct?
Yeah, I just got.
Oh, wait, we got to turn your mic on.
Now try it. You're good. Now try it.
Oh, sorry. I just got my appointment to the United States Military Academy, so I should be continuing wrestling there.
Okay.
Did that call come from Andy Barr?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I shared that, and I was like, I think that is going to Thomas Deck, that phone call that Andy Barr shared.
So we've got Thomas, and so he's at 132. Is that his weight class?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
Talk about, we'll start with you first, and we'll go on to the other guys. So your weight class is 132. Talk about, how that works, and the input or the impact, what you have to do as far as staying in your weight class?
I mean, usually on the weekends, I usually enjoy myself with the food. But I mean, making weight really isn't that hard. It just takes a little bit of discipline, and then like really you just have to watch what you eat a little more than like your peers would. And if like you have pizza for lunch, I mean you just gotta skip out. It's just what you gotta do.
How many times a week do you guys get weighed to make sure that you're staying in your class?
I usually weigh myself in the morning, every morning, and then after practice, just see where I'm at, make sure know how much I can eat. And
So what's the give or take as far as your weight goes? Can you go over a couple of pounds, under a couple of pounds? Do you have to stay at 132?
So
How does that work?
After Christmas, you get 2 pounds for growth. So my weight class is now 134.
Okay.
Oh, I thought it was because of the turkey.
I was going to say that. I mean, that's what my weight goes up like 10 pounds after Christmas. But
yeah, so yeah, they're pretty strict. If you're 134.1, then you're not wrestling that day.
Wow. So, Coach, if you have somebody that gains a couple of pounds, do they just go up to the next weight class, or do they have to skip out a couple of matches? Like, how does that work?
Well, no, because we have a pretty set lineup with varsity wrestlers. So we look at the preseason on what's best for the team and the individuals. So if an athlete doesn't make the weight class, they're probably just going to sit. They can bump, but it'll be a JV capacity.
But you want someone in each weight class, right? Because that's how you get your points?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Makes sense. Okay.
We'll fill it out as best we can. And like Thomas talked about, it's just discipline. We do it the right way. We don't have kids cut excess weight or anything unhealthy.
Yeah.
There's been numerous studies that show that weight cutting over a long period of time is bad for sports performance, so we highly discourage that. We do it the right way. We watch our caloric intake and the amount of exercise we do to do it the right way.
So, Thomas, talk about, so obviously you've had a ton of success in your time at Madison Central. Talk about, what's the work you've had to put in and kind of the results that you've seen and what that kind of means to you now being a senior.
Well, I mean, for me, it's just been like having the mindset that wanting to be the best ever since day one. I mean, I've been with these guys since like elementary school. We've always been together, always been drill partners. So, I mean, having them just like, we always just build up on each other. So, I mean, having good drill partners really helps. Having friends. I mean, they're like close to my age group.
Okay.
They're like close to my grade. So, we can like relate to each other, and it helps us focus on the sport.
Coach, tell us who else we got here with us.
Okay, I'll go to my junior, Zach Cowan. Zach, two-time regional champ, state place winner last year, took 5th place. He competes at a very high level on the national circuits during the off season. So in the past 6 months, Zach has worked his tail off going to different camps and training. Very, very hardworking in the classroom and on the mat. These 3 guys here are captains on the team based on how they act in the classroom and on the mat. So he has very high hopes going into the state tournament. He'll compete for a title, and I think he's very, very close to reaching those goals. So he has high hopes for the weekend.
So Zach, you're a junior. You've kind of seen what kind of work it takes to get to where you guys are now. What will you do between now and the state tournament to prepare yourself?
Mainly just a lot of making sure my body's in the right condition to compete. There's not really a lot that you can do to improve your wrestling as far as technique goes and stuff like that. So mainly just watching weight, making sure I don't get hurt, nothing gets beat up and all that. So,
do you have a favorite wrestler or somebody that you've watched through the years? And I know professional wrestling is not what you all do, but is there somebody that you watch to kind of mimic some of their moves as far as what you do on the mat?
No one really in particular. Just a lot of collegiate guys are real good wrestlers to model after. Just watching their style. Just I feel that no one wrestler can really. You can't really model your style after one particular wrestler, where you kind of have to take aspects from everybody. So
okay.
So we just had a gymnast on that goes to Madison Central. She was telling us how it's more strength in her sport rather than flexibility. But I know it's opposite for you guys. You guys have to have a lot of strength training, but you also have to be very flexible in what you guys do. You guys may be more flexible than she is.
I don't know about that far, but
she just told us it's
she did
not
say
about
that you didn't have to be flexible to do what she does, which is I said maybe I could do it.
And I said, I bet the wrestlers, they're the ones that are flexible.
Yeah.
We can do some tumbling. Zach Cowan can actually do some serious tumbling skills, so you're not wrong. We do some tumbling in wrestling. Front handsprings back. He's trying to set the Guinness World Book of Records for the side. He looked it up. The side flip over distance. We'll have to maybe post a video of that.
Yes.
It's pretty impressive.
I just know
let us know whenever
moves.
you get ready to do that, and we'll come and film it and try to help you get it out there.
Some of the moves they have to do and the way they have to reverse and all those terms you guys know, it's not easy. I know you have to be flexible.
You do.
Yeah, well, Coach, I know this kid from the football field, but kind of introduce Jeffrey for us and tell us kind of what he's doing.
Okay, so Jeffrey Kinley, he's a sophomore. I actually got to coach Jeffrey as a 6th grader, and then I moved up to high school with him, so I've known him for a while. Again, another captain, and he's going to be the future leadership of the program for sure. As a sophomore, I think he won 2 middle school state titles last year. Are you a 3-time region champion?
Yeah, 3-time region champion.
Won his 3rd one this year as a sophomore, which is incredible. State placer last year, made the state semifinals as a freshman.
Okay.
He comes from a great pedigree of wrestling. His uncle's national champion at West Virginia.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I know his family is
coached at West Virginia.
Okay.
So he comes from a great pedigree, but his work ethic is incredible. Like I said, in the classroom and on the wrestling mat. So
I think he gets that honest.
Good.
Yeah. Well, Jeffrey, talk about the impact that your family has had on you as far as being a wrestler and out there performing on the mat. What those expectations or what you've learned that maybe might give you an advantage over somebody else.
Yeah, where my family, where I come from, they like, the bar is set high. They expect nothing less, so they're just, pushing me every day, just to be the best I can be, really.
Well, do you like football more or wrestling?
I get that
Don't
question.
put him on the spot, Samantha.
No,
Sinners isn't watching.
I get that question quite a bit, but football.
Oh,
yeah.
See,
well,
you're a 3-time region champion. I really expected you to say wrestling.
A lot of people think wrestling too. It's a pretty close gap, really, but it's not.
Well, talk about how each sport can help you. Like, talk about maybe the similarities or the differences on how you have to prepare, and maybe how one can help you with the other.
Well, wrestling really helps me with football, mentally, and a lot of things you do in football on the defensive side of the ball, it comes from wrestling and tackling, and then hand placement, blocking, comes from wrestling too a little bit. So yeah.
Well, I know earlier this year in football season you had your first career interception that was called back because of a bogus play. And I told your mom when I talked to her, I said, I'm still going to count that. So when I go into a game this year as a sophomore when you're starting at safety, and I'm still going to count that you had 1 interception in your career. So we're going to count that.
It's just not in the books.
Yeah, it's not in the books. But now listen, it was a bogus whistle or something that happened. Yeah. We're going to count it that he has at least 1 interception. But talk about what you're having to do. So you are the weight class 126, is that right?
Yeah.
So talk about what's with those expectations and some of the guys that you're going to be facing.
Really, my weight class, I'm at the top right there, and there's a couple tough kids. Mainly, it's just for me mentally being there every match.
Well, you can't, like in football, you have film study. Do you guys have that for wrestling too? Do you watch film on other wrestlers or other teams that you're going to be facing?
Great question.
You do, yeah. So all of our kids, we'll film our matches and watch and review. It's a great time to obviously improve technique and situational wrestling, which you could do better. And then if you can find matches from off-season tournaments on track wrestling, you can find some stuff on your opponent. But ultimately, it comes down to, like Jeffrey was saying, mental preparation before the match and getting your body right and getting your conditioning and trusting in the work you've put in.
Well, talk about the state tournament. When is it going to take place, and where will it be at?
So it starts this Friday and Saturday at All-Tech Arena in Georgetown. Wrestling starts at 9 o'clock on both days, with the finals probably around 5 or 6 o'clock on Saturday night. And hopefully Madison Central will have more than one person in the state finals. Well, that's the hope. That's a tough.
That's right.
So if you've got 3 or 4 guys, or how will your time go? Are they all at the same time? Will they be divided up? How will that work?
No, they'll go by weight classes.
Okay.
So it's one after the other.
I know maybe you have to have one coach in 2 spots.
Well, now in the earlier rounds you do. Now, the quarterfinals and semifinals. Last year we had several in the semis and the quarterfinals. So we were spread, conquering and dividing with different athletes wrestling at the same time.
All right, I got a quick question before we have to let you guys go. question. The self-discipline, the self-control, the concentration that it takes to be a wrestler. Like, do you guys meditate? You've seen quickly, you know, he's been meditating, closes his eyes before he shoots those free throws. What do you guys do?
Do anything in particular? She's a big Emmanuel Quickly fan, if you couldn't tell, by the way.
I don't know. I just I try not to get too caught up in kind of the anxieties before matches and stuff.
Too
like
hyped
that.
up, yeah.
Yeah. At the same time, I'm always excited to wrestle, but I don't really want to fear wrestling.
Right.
I want to be nervous about it because everyone always says nerves are good.
Yeah, you want that adrenaline.
You want to care about it, but I don't like getting caught up in like the fear, like what if I lose and all that stuff. So.
Right, good.
I not really meditate, but I like to take a couple of deep breaths, you know. Like Zach was saying, I feel like the anxiety or nervousness helps me a little bit to perform. And mainly, I just like to be in the moment and just enjoy the moment, you know.
Right. All right. Thomas, what about you?
No, I don't really meditate. I mean, looking at me, you'd think I'd probably meditate because my mom, she's Japanese, and we're supposed to be like Zen or whatever. But
right.
No, I don't meditate at all.
Well, one more question before we let you guys go. So we already know that this is not the same as the WWE or All Elite, but do you guys have a favorite professional wrestler? You John Cena fan or Randy Orton, AJ Styles? Do you guys have a guy like
the
that?
Bella Twins.
I like the Bella Twins. Yeah, Thomas does too. I like that. But do you have one, or maybe do you, like, if you could pick a theme song, do you have one of those that you would pick?
I would say I liked Kurt Angle because he was a legitimate
Brock Lesnar, and I know Shelton Benjamin, all those guys
Michigan,
were. Yeah.
He just went to wrestling in Lexington a couple weeks ago.
I'm a big wrestler. Listen, me, Coach, we live in the same neighborhood.
We're neighbors.
They're going to go, that's fake. This is real.
It's real to me.
The athleticism's real, that's for sure.
Well, that
and
is
some
true.
of the bumps they take are real, too. You know?
That is true, absolutely.
Yeah. But if you all could pick one theme, like if you could pick your theme song, before you come out on the mat, what would you pick?
Oh, man, I don't know.
It'd be with this bunch, it'd be ridiculous. I know that.
I would go Kung Fu Hustle.
Oh.
I like it.
I like that. All right. You got one, Jeffrey? You got a theme song you'd
I got a couple years ago, All-Star Classic. I came out to Can't Touch This by MC Hammer. So
okay, there you go.
That's probably one of them.
Okay, you got one. You
I don't know, man. It's just...
There's too many. There's a lot of... I mean, it would be hard for me to choose from, too,
maybe,
because... maybe some AC/DC or something. Yeah, I can get on board with that.
Yeah, that would pump you up.
Yeah.
But see, they got to have self-control. They don't want their
That's
anxiety.
true. Exactly.
They're pretty self-controlled even sitting here.
They
you
are.
notice?
The coach has done a good job with them, and
Yeah.
they've been through this before. So they know what to expect whenever the state tournament rolls around this weekend, right?
Yeah. These three particular are high-level athletes, and all of our athletes have gone through 2.5 3-hour practices for 4 months. So I mean, they're ready.
So if we offered you guys nachos right now, you'd be like, nah.
Don't tempt them, man. I'll take them.
I'd say save them for next week.
Yeah, you can save them for next week. Okay. Well, Coach, before we let you guys go, before we go off the air, tell the fans where they can find more information. I know y'all have a Facebook page. Do you have a Twitter, Instagram, anything like that?
Yeah, we have a Twitter. I don't know the handle because Miss Kinley, his mama, runs it.
Okay.
MC Wrestling.
MC Wrestling.
There you go.
High school Facebook page, Madison Central High School Wrestling. And we also have a middle school and youth for our clubs, our younger kids, Madison County Youth Wrestling Club. It's on Facebook.
Yeah, well,
Your mom did a great job this past week at Region. She took pictures of
don't give her
every
the big
single
head,
one
Samantha.
of them.
She's over there sitting. We don't want her to get
We got to
the big
give
head.
her.
We know how
pictures of every
Kinley
single
is,
one of
so.
them.
We have to give her a shout out. She's great. She's an administrator at the school, and she helps our program, the ins and outs. We couldn't do it without the help of her and then several other people.
Well, it takes a lot of coaches. It takes a lot of parents as well to help you all succeed.
Absolutely.
And it seems like you all have got a pretty good group that helps you all get to what you all want to do.
We do. Yeah, we have a really good.
So
group.
this weekend, right? Coming up?
Yep.
Well, good luck this
exciting.
weekend. We look forward to come back on next Monday. If we got some state champs, bring them on. We'll talk to them again next week at Jack Burford. That's where we'll
Can
be
we
at
get
next
a fake
Monday.
wrestling belt for them?
I've got
I have one in my
actually.
garage.
There you
yeah.
go.
There you go.
Maybe we'll have a match. We'll have one of them.
Take one from A.W. Hamilton. That
He's got one,
uses.
yeah,
He's got
that
that
you
one.
guys
We'll
use.
you have it in the show.
Well, guys, thank you all for coming on with us. Good luck this weekend, and hopefully bring home a state championship.
Thank you guys for having us. Appreciate it.
That is the Madison
Good
Central
luck,
Wrestling team,
guys.
guys. We'll take they're off the air now. It's time to go off the air.
Yeah, it's time to go
We'll
off
be
the
back at Jack Burford next Monday, so thank you all for hanging out with us. We'll see you next Monday.
Everybody, say
from
bye.
Buffalo Wild Wings. This is the Jack Burford Chevrolet Sports Show on WBONTV.com.
Patrick O'Neill has been serving Central and Eastern Kentucky since 1995. When someone is accused of something they didn't do, or when a good person makes a mistake, they need the best representation they can find. And that's Patrick O'Neill. Whether it's criminal defense, Social Security, disability, personal injury, workers' compensation, or deeds and wills, when you need legal advice, trust the expertise of Patrick O'Neill. He will get you the money you deserve. His office is located in Jackson, but Patrick practices all over Central and Eastern Kentucky. For more information or for a free consultation, call 606-666-2990.
Is everybody buckled in? I want to make sure you're buckled in. You're more important. Oh, guys, you're important too. Remember, everyone's important, so buckle up to and from the ball game. Come on, let's go.
So you guys have shown us a lot of love on Facebook and, of course, our website at WBONTV.com. So we're going to let you in on a little secret, our YouTube channel. It's where all the local stories are posted first for news, and you can even catch the live stream of any of your local high school sports on there as well. Be sure to subscribe, as well as clicking on the little bell for notifications. For when we post a video go live, you'll be the first to know. And don't be afraid to share and like a video. It really helps us out here at the studio to bring you the best in local news. And of course on Facebook, hit the See First button so we come up first when you're scrolling through your timeline.
Watch the Jack Burford Chevrolet Sports Show live each Monday from 6 to 7 on WBONTV.com.
That's right, Michael. You can hang out with us each week either at Jack Burford Chevrolet or at Buffalo Wild Wings in the Richmond Center. You can take part in the law office of Patrick O'Neill Facebook poll and share your thoughts and opinions with us each week, and we can talk about all your local sports.
Samantha, the numbers don't lie. We love showcasing the local athletes and coaches in our community and appreciate all of our great sponsors. For the best local sports coverage around, join us each Monday on WBON TV for the Jack Burford Chevrolet Sports Show.